it's Myra. I'm back with a reflection on my day for August 4th, the anniversary of the birth of John Venn. Born in 1834, Venn was a mathematician, a logician, and a philosopher. As I mentioned on the blog, a link to which is in the description below, he is not one of my impossible people. But his diagrams do come in handy when I talk about why certain people ended up on my impossible list. Those overlapping circle sets can also be useful in understanding how my day came together. I didn't have much planned today. Most of my focus was on getting ready to have lunch with one of my yoga buddies. But I ended up getting a lot more done than I expected and getting it done without a lot of fuss. Have you ever had a day like that? Ever wonder how you can have more days like that? Well, this is where Venn's diagrams come in handy. Remember, at the beginning of the year, I made a commitment, mostly to myself, to record and post a video every 9 days. A couple of years ago, I made a commitment, mostly to some of my yoga buddies, to offer a special practice on the first Friday night of each month. Then, just a few days ago, I made lunch plans. Those are my 3 sets. And yeah, sure, something can happen, something can come up, and people will understand. But still, I like to keep my promises and make good on my commitments. So there's that. And all of that entails a certain amount of time and energy, as well as a certain amount of heart and mind, plus a little embodied philosophy. I enjoy certain aspects of all those things. They are purpose-driven, and with the possible exception of having lunch with my friend, those commitments are all part of my practice, which means they reinforce the positives and actually create heart and head space. Sometimes doing those things actually diffuses the stress and the fuss of being busy, so it feels like I have more time and energy. They are their own rewards, kind of like a self-sustaining renewable energy source that flows in and out of itself. So if I were making a Venn diagram of my day, the overlapping space between my lunch plans, my video plans, and my first Friday night special plans contains at least 5 elements. Commitment and my dedication or attitude to the commitment, momentum that comes from keeping the promise, pleasurable mental and emotional engagement, which is double the pleasure and double the fun, embodied philosophy, and purpose. For me, those overlapping elements are energizing. And side note, I find those same overlapping elements in my physical practice of yoga. Now, today was my day off, so even with my commitments, I had a certain amount of flexibility around how I spent my time. But consider for a moment what happens if you have a day full of activities without any of those energizing elements, let alone all 5 overlapping. That's going to be a hard day. If you're experiencing a lot of hard days, as many are, take a moment to consider what energizes you. You can look at a day you would consider good or easy. Create circle sets for 3 sets of activities you did that day, and notice 5 things those activities have in common. Maybe the 5 elements I described make sense for you, or maybe you have your own list of elements. Either way, use that list as you turn your awareness towards one of your hard days, or the elements there and you were just focusing on the other parts, the non-energizing parts. Because sometimes it's not what we're doing that saps our energy. Sometimes it's our attitude and our focus. Other times we just don't have a well-balanced day. So when you look at your hard day, consider if there was something you could have planned that you would have looked forward to doing. Then consider how that plan might overlap with all the other things on your agenda. Remember, you want an overlapping space that is energizing and that fuels you. You want a joyful space. It can even be a healing space. More than anything, it's a space full of purpose and intention, which means it's a creative space. We'll go a little deeper into this idea another time, maybe in 9 days.